Happy Wednesday, everybody. On Wednesdays, we wear pink. If you know, you know. It is a gorgeous day. However, we are on our third day with those first alert weather days due to some extreme heat in the area. Now, today is a little less extreme than what we saw yesterday. So we're back down to those heat advisories, but still hot nonetheless. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a live look outside at Athens. You can see traffic is flowing smoothly out there, but already just below that 90-degree mark at 10:32 this morning. It's 87 degrees outside. And a lot of us are still making our way into those 90-degree marks, and we'll be there just before we know it. But like I mentioned, most of us are back down to a regular run-of-the-mill heat advisory, but that doesn't mean it's not hot. It's still, we're seeing those index values anywhere between 106 to 108. It's just for our Alabama communities and 2 or 3 counties out of our Tennessee viewing area. We're just only seeing those lower end values that cause us to go up to heat advisory. We're just below the criteria for a extreme heat advisory. So just to kind of briefly explain that criteria, what they look for is if the heat index value is going to stay at that extreme or just heat advisory level for longer than 2 hours. So I can't remember the actual numbers. I want to say with the Tennessee folks, I want to say 108, 107, 108. I think that's their threshold for the middle Tennessee portion. I want to say that's their threshold to go into extreme heat. And then here in Alabama, ours is a little warmer than theirs. I want to say once we get to 109, 110. But again, it's very, very minute details that will send us over into extreme or keep us at a heat advisory. But these advisories are expected to be in the area throughout tonight, 9 p.m. Thursday for the Tennessee counties. What they're discussing currently is that Thursday looks like it may have some temperature spikes in those areas. So we could still see a heat advisory for you all heading into Thursday. We'll monitor that throughout the day. We're really kind of basing that upon the showers and storms we're expecting to see coming into the area later this evening. Some storms and showers passed through a little earlier, though. I did see on our radar, and I'll show it in just a moment, we were seeing some showers possibly passing through and popping up right around the noon to 12:30, maybe 1 o'clock hours. So that could kind of change some of the areas here in Alabama, but some of those showers and storms don't make their way up to Tennessee, and that's what keeps it rather warm on their end, but kind of cooler on our end, so to speak. There's not really a better word for that other than cooler. If you could say that, it's still hot nonetheless. But looking at today's high temperature, 95 is where we're expected to sit. Like I mentioned, scattered thunderstorms are possible, and that's due to a lot of the daytime heating. We've seen a couple of pop-up showers and storms here and there for the past 2 or 3 days, but it's only been very isolated, very short-lived showers that we've seen so far. We're expecting to see a more widespread expectation for today, so not everyone will see rain. However, more people will see rain than they did in the past couple of days. Still hot and humid for most of the day ahead, though. And sunset is around 6:15, 6:16 today. So we're going to see some warm temperatures well into the evening. Even around the 7 to 8 o'clock hours, our field light temperatures still feel almost as, there you go, still feel close to those lower end 90s there, or even 100 heading into 6 p.m. So we're expecting our heat index to top out around 106, 107 here in Huntsville. But like I mentioned, some areas are still seeing 108, 109, especially our Tennessee communities with those extreme weather, extreme heat advisories. So I believe that was Giles, Wayne, and Lawrence counties that are dealing with those. Those are our 3 warmest counties. I will say their threshold is, it seems to be a bit higher over in that area for those extreme advisories. So make sure you are keeping yourself aware with the next couple of hours. If you haven't started your hydration for the day, go ahead and get that going. If you have some folks that you know work outside, or if you're working outside, use this as an opportunity to really get most of your work done earlier, because as you see here, we're going to get quite warm closer to noon, 1 o'clock. And it's only going to be that hot for the next 5 or so hours after that. So make sure you're wearing appropriate clothing, lighter clothing as well. Trying to stay away from the dark shades also. That kind of absorbs that heat and makes you sweat a little more. So we're definitely in that high heat that we've seen for the next couple of days, but we'll finally get some relief once these rain chances move in this afternoon. That's what pulled back our temperature for the day. And also moving into the weekend, it's going to be a wet weekend. So go ahead and get that in your mind. It's going to be a wet one. However, much cooler than what we've seen for the past couple of days. And honestly, I'll take that. I don't mind keeping my umbrella nearby as long as I'm not sweating outside, right? But looking at our future radar for today, as you can see right now, we're still rather dry for the most part. Some areas still in those upper 80s. Huntsville, Decatur, making it to those 90-degree marks in the next couple of moments. But Max, if you want to advance, there she goes. All right. So looking at noon, we do have those pop-up showers right around the 12 to 12:30 time period. We're expecting to see a couple of those, but as you notice, they don't really cool some of these areas off that much until we get closer to that 1 and 2 o'clock hour. That's when we start to see some heavier showers and storms. Now, some areas could see, if you are east of I-65, you could see a possible overnight shower chance. And it seems to be heavy, especially for Albertville, but that's throughout the evening. We're still seeing if that will hold as strong throughout the rest of today, moving into that point. It may not be as heavy of a downpour, but you could hear some rumbles of thunder just due to the overnight heating that we have as well, where temperatures don't really cool down all that much. So if you are, out and about and you have some opportunity to enjoy maybe the last couple of days of summer, it's a good morning to go ahead and sit at the pool. It's going to get real warm right around that noon to 2 o'clock hour. Temperatures will get into those mid 90s closer to the afternoon. However, our feel like temperatures are going to start creeping into the hundreds real soon. So make sure you block some time out your day to really cool off and enjoy the AC, enjoy some water, Gatorade or something. And even think about your folks that are delivering things. Think about your deliveries as well. Make sure that you are on your P's and Q's as far as that goes, because you would hate to have your groceries or something delivered that spoils while you're at work. I've had that happen before, so that's why I keep mentioning it. I don't want anybody else to deal with that. But as far as most of our day goes, it's not as warm as yesterday, but it's still hot. So I want you to keep that in mind. We have a tiny bit of relief today, but looking at your Thursday, it's going to be a little less warm. We're going to see temperatures in those lower end 90s, thanks to some of that rain that we're seeing overnight tonight and in the afternoon heading into the evening. That'll start to cool us down with cold front making its way closer to us. We're seeing that jet stream move on in closer to Wednesday, well, today evening. So once we get into your Thursday, it should be a cooler start, although it will be a little muggy out the door. But for most of the day, still rather comfortable outside. Our feel like temperature is nowhere near what we've seen for the past couple of days, which is good in my book. But we've got some scattered thunderstorms on the books for the afternoon. So keep that in mind. Keep that umbrella on standby, because the next couple of days are going to be rainy and wet. So let's go ahead and take a look ahead for the next few days. What we're seeing, rain chances all around for the next few days. And you'll notice they range from about 40 to 60%, especially with Thursday and Friday being some heavier chances for rain, more widespread as well. That's what we've noted for the day. So even moving into your weekend, though they decrease a little bit, we're still kind of seeing a good deal of widespread yet scattered showers. So when we say that, that typically means more folks will see rain, but there's also still that opportunity that you may or may not see rain. So we won't see large clusters, but we'll see little ones here and there in a lot of different areas. So that's just breaking down what that means for you. But moving into Monday and Tuesday, we start to see smaller chances of rain, but temperatures will sit in those lower end 80s for a day or two before warming it back up. Now, looking into this time next week, we'll be back in those 90s, but we're not expecting it to be as hot as we've seen this week. So far, there hasn't been any conversation of that sticking to this same routine that we've seen for the past couple of days. So that's good news. I love to hear that. I hate to tell you guys when we have some first alert weather days and it's going to be really hot outside or we've got something coming, even though that's what we do. I know it puts some damper on your plans and everything. So, but that's kind of the point of why we're here. We're letting you know that there's a lot to alert you about as far as our weather. We want to make sure that you're staying safe while you're outside. And we know summer is a good time for folks to vacation, take a day or two off to enjoy their time, maybe with their family or even just, some outdoor plans because the weather typically is favorable for it. But we want you to be as hydrated, prepared as possible. So that's why we tell you so early. And we start to look into some of these heat advisories as early as possible when it looks that way. But as of right now, no speculation of thinking next week will repeat this week, thankfully. But again, keep that umbrella on standby for the next couple of days. We've got rain chances all around. So I hope you have a great Wednesday. Finish your week strong. Enjoy the last couple of days of the work week. You're almost to the weekend. So with that, you can tune in to TVL. You can watch us at noon. And of course, we'll be here for your evening news. So make sure you keep up to date with that. And if anything changes, you can always download the WAFF 48 app and the weather app as well to keep up to date with anything that happens in the next couple of hours. It'll let you know when it's raining in your area too, so that's always good to have. So with that, have a great rest of your day.